Hi everyone, Rene Bastarache here with the American School of Hypnosis. Now that you have that information, what do you do with it? Well, now that we have that information, we're going to actually show you the 5 steps on how to put something together to hypnotize someone. So remember, the first thing you got to do is do the suggestibility test. You can do the finger one like I showed you, or we actually have a lot of others that we teach in the course. But since this whole webinar, we want to keep the thing under an hour if we can, okay? We're just going to show you a few ways and show you how you can get more information later if you like. You determine where someone is. Okay, now tonight we're going to deal with the non-analytical side, since that's the majority of society. It's about 80% of society, on how to hypnotize them. Now, the difference between what we're going to do and the analytical side, you need to keep their mind busy. So the session's going to go a little bit different. You need to keep their mind busy while you're giving them suggestions. It's kind of like doing your taxes and having a conversation at the same time, okay? If you're doing your taxes and you're focused on it and you're not paying attention to what's being said when somebody comes in and talks to you, chances are what they're saying is getting right into your subconscious mind. You're not paying attention, you keep them busy. So it's like the suggestions are just walking right past the guard into your mind. That's why it's important when you're doing things to know what's going on. Like I notice a lot of commercials will come on. You got to be careful of that, because these commercials will come on while you're watching, while you're eating dinner, or late at night when you're tired or doing something. And the suggestions they give are basically designed to do that, to sneak past your conscious mind into your subconscious, where suggestions are accepted while you're doing something else. That's an analytical approach. You see that a lot with people that go to sleep with their radio on or their television on. All the suggestions coming in from the television: buy this, do that, you don't feel well, go see a doctor. Those are all going past your conscious mind into your subconscious. So knowing that, this is the first piece of help you're going to get in this course. Turn off your TV during dinner and turn it off when you go to bed. If you want to listen to music, record something that doesn't have commercials or any kind of suggestion. See that? Already you got a great thing to help you. All right, so let's go ahead and talk to you about the 5 steps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these 5 steps briefly, and then I'm actually going to give you examples of each one by actually taking you all through a very brief, quick hypnosis session, okay? And the regular session would take a little longer, so you probably go a lot deeper, but you're going to get a good idea of how it works. So the first part is called the induction. All the induction is, just like it sounds, it's a way to initially relax you. We also call it the body scan. So one of the quick ways to do an induction is just to start, and you've probably heard this before, start from the top of someone's head, have them relax the top of their head, their eyes, their nose, going down, almost like you call it a body scan, almost like you put somebody on a scanner and it's scanning from top to bottom, their mouth, their chin, their chest, their arms, all the way down to their knees and their toes. You see how I scanned, and they relax each part? By having them focus on each part, it's helping them to let go and relax. Now, just to show you how you don't have to be very relaxed to be in hypnosis, and by the way, relaxation is not a prerequisite for hypnosis. It helps, but you don't have to be relaxed. I've hypnotized many people sitting in chairs and even standing up. Okay, you see that a lot with different people who do it in public speaking and comedy hypnotists. You have people laughing their heads off and they're standing up, but I get them deep enough in hypnosis to be operated on. Okay, so you don't have to relax. After the short induction that you do, inductions are probably anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, you do a test. Already they're probably deep enough for you to hypnotize them for most of the things. And what is a depth test? Exactly like what it sounds. You're asking them a question, or you're doing a test to find out how deep they are in hypnosis. It's almost if I asked you, how relaxed are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the deepest relaxed you can be. From between 1 and 10, there's different numbers. Give me the number that best suits how relaxed you are. That basically is a depth test. Not the one we're going to use tonight, though. We're going to use one that's pretty fun. That's going to probably shock you. So they say 7, great. Anything over, to me, 6 or 7, they're deep enough for most things. Then you move on. Now, even though they said they're deep enough, okay, most people, when they come to see you for a hypnosis session, They like to relax. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is kind of like going to get a massage. You want the massage. You want to be able to let go. And that's this part of the session, which is called the deepener. The deepener is the part where you basically let go on a journey. Some people, they use a deepener like walking through a field and a meadow, or, you know, all the different fun, relaxing things. You're on a beach watching the waves. One of the simplest deepeners that we're going to use tonight is actually walking downstairs. So you can start with 20, and every step you go down 20 stairs, so 19th, 18th step, you're going deeper and deeper into relaxation. You're letting go more and more, all the way till you get down to the bottom step, and you're in the deepest state of relaxation. I hope none of you are going in hypnosis right now, by the way. I want you to hear the rest of my stuff, okay? So just starting from 20. Now tonight we're probably just going to do it from 10 to 1 so we don't keep you here all night long. After the deepener, so they're even more relaxed, we do the suggestions or the script. Now, the reason they use the word script is short for prescription. You got it. So the suggestions or the prescription is, what did you come to see me for? What are you hypnotizing the person for? What is it you want to get across to them? Whether it be, that's where you're going to give them suggestions for quit smoking, to stop biting their nails, to be better at public speaking, to get rid of phobias like, you know, fear of dogs, fear of flying. So whatever the suggestions are, that's where you give them. Now, a little bit about suggestions, okay? You don't just say, do this, do that, okay? First of all, in hypnosis, you won't do anything against your nature or anything against your standards. So if somebody wants you to do something against your standards or your nature, and they give you that suggestion, you'll simply open your eyes and say, no, I don't want to. Okay, so if you have the idea of wanting to hypnotize them to somebody to make you do something, you know, I mean, give me your money or whatever, it's not going to work, you know. And don't worry, people won't tell you deep, dark secrets under hypnosis, because at some level, in the lighter states, you still hear everything and remember, but even the deepest states, your subconscious mind always hears, always pays attention, and is kind of alert, ready to help you. If somebody gave you negative suggestions, you'd know it, okay? So don't worry about it, it doesn't happen. So what do you do when you want to make suggestions? You want to, this is a little homework, you're going to have to do this before. You want to make your suggestions positive. Never make anything negative. The subconscious mind does not understand negative, only positive. They need to be simple. The subconscious mind is like a 5-year-old child, so on that age length, okay? So make them very simple, measurable. If you're telling somebody he's going to walk on the treadmill every day, well, when? If you haven't had time to walk on the treadmill yet, if you just say you're going to walk on the treadmill every day, you're going to go, I'll walk across it to get to the refrigerator. You need to say, it needs to be measurable or specific, such as every day at 6:30 in the morning, you will walk 1/2 mile on the treadmill. You see what I mean? Now it's specific. By using these instructions, make it positive, simple, and measurable. It helps you to be able to imagine it too. The more detail you have, the more you can imagine it. And imagination is the catalyst for change in the subconscious mind. It needs to be believable. If you have a hard time walking from the front door to the mailbox every day, I might not want to give you suggestions to run a marathon. It's not believable, and you just aren't going to buy it. If your goal is to run a marathon, maybe I'll have you go back and forth to the mailbox twice. And then when you come back for the next session, maybe 6 times, and maybe walk a 1/4 mile. You see what I mean? Each time, once you've attained your goal, you give them a little more, little plateaus along the way. Because remember the saying, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Otherwise, you'll choke and you won't be able to do it. Excuse me. After believable is your suggestion should be present tense as much as possible. So you are this, you are that. And they should have a reward, okay? All suggestions should have a reward of some sort. Let me see what the next thing is here before I go too far. Oops. Okay. And now that I told you those, I'm actually going to come back to the screen so you can see me here. And here we are. Ah, look at that. Bright and tailed and bushy-eyed, or the other way around. Okay, so you want your suggestions to be positive, simple, measurable, believable, present tense, and to use your imagination. Now, when I say imagination, okay, some people say, I want you to see this. I want you to see that. Remember, we have 5 senses. Sight is only one of them. And since it's only one sense, okay, it's not everybody's dominant. Again, I'm going to compare with Raluca. Okay, her dominant sense is being visual. Mine is kinesthetic. Okay, so feeling. So if you have both of us describe something, let's say a house, she might say it's a white house with a gray picket fence and a green lawn. I might describe it as it's a warm place. So look, I think there's a nice family that lives there. I feel the happiness coming from it. You see, we describe it different ways. So if you tell the person, I want you to see this, see that, see this, they might not get it, or they might not be as strong. So instead of using, I want you to see this or visualize this, we use the word imagine. I want you to imagine something, because even though sight or visual might not be a dominant sense and not everybody might be good at it, everyone can imagine. Imagination we call the sixth sense, okay? Imagination is a sense that you use in the subconscious, so in hypnosis. Because remember when I did right brain, left brain, the left brain is based on the 5 senses. The right brain is based on imagination, the sixth sense. Aha, so now you're getting to understand where imagination comes in. If you can imagine it, it can happen. If you can't imagine it, just not going to happen. You're not going to, what I call the buying in principle. You're not going to buy in. So those are the, so 1, 2, 3, 4 steps of hypnosis, okay? You give them, the 4th one is, of course, the suggestions. You want to give them the suggestions. And rather than go back to chart, the 5th one on there was the awakening, okay? Sounds like that movie, The Quickening, there can be only one. Okay, it's not that. It's the awakening. Nothing scary about it. The awakening is you're finished. It's basically, okay, on the count of 3 or the count of 5, you're going to open your eyes, come on back, wakey, wakey. And it's a gradual way to take them out of hypnosis rather than saying, hey, open your eyes. You don't want to scare them. You want to have them come back nice. So just so you know, a couple tips for you. If you're going to do an awakening in the daytime to someone, you might want to say something on the count of 5. You're going to open your eyes feeling great and energized, feeling like you had a full night's sleep. And that way they'll be doing really good throughout the day, because every 15 minutes of hypnosis is equal to about 4 hours of sleep. Okay, there was a little suggestion there. 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours of sleep. So in the daytime you can do that, but if it's nighttime and you're doing a session, let's say around 7, 8, or 9 o'clock, you don't want to say that, because when it comes time for bed, they're probably not going to be able to sleep, because you just said that they were bright-eyed and awake and ready to have a good day, and it's just like they had coffee. Okay, so at nighttime you might want to say something about, on the count of 5, you're going to open your eyes, you're going to feel wonderful in every way, and you're going to have a great night's sleep tonight. So you want to be careful what you say, because if somebody says, hey, I couldn't sleep at all after that session, it probably was your fault. Okay, so it's important to think of what you're saying and what time of day you're doing it. So let's see, I covered the 5 steps, the suggestibility test, and let's see. So I guess what comes next is we're going to go ahead and do it with you. Now, before we get going, if anybody has any major questions or something that we haven't covered before we do this, you can go ahead and type them now, and I'll give you about a minute or so to see if anything comes in. When you do hypnosis suggestions, can you do more than one at a time? Ooh, very good question. I like to look at it as one main thing and maybe 1 or 2 minors, okay? What I mean by that is they're coming to see you for smoking, only smoking. If they're coming to see you for nail biting, only nail biting. Don't do nail biting and bedwetting at the same time for kids. That's 2 major things. What are minor things? Confidence, self-image, feeling good, being happy, those kind of things, because and relaxation, because every session you're going to have that as a result of it anyways. As a result of this session, you're going to probably feel pretty relaxed. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel a little more confident, because I'm going to give you suggestions for that. More success oriented. So things, those minor things, throw them in just to help them out, but only one major thing at a time. And the reason for that, think of it. I said the subconscious mind is like a 5-year-old child. Okay, if any of you have had children, think about it, 5-year-old child right around there. Say, okay, Johnny, I want you to clean your room, take the dog out for a walk, okay? Do your homework, take the trash out. Right now, their eyes are glazed over, okay? They forgot the first thing. So again, you give them too much to do, they're going to do none of them. I mean, we're the same way as adults. You got so many things. If you could see my desk over here, I have a to-do list. I have a writable desk. It's actually called a write-up. It's like a kind of like one of those whiteboards, but the desktop is like that. So I write on it with markers, and I have a list this long, okay, of to-do lists, and I mark them off. But if I looked at that and wanted to get the whole thing done today, I probably wouldn't do anything. I'd probably just be messing around on Facebook all day, seeing what's going on, okay? So I give myself a few to do, and then I can move on to the next ones. So tell the kid, I want you to clean your room. Once he's done, you did a good job, I want you to take the dog out for a walk. You give them each one. Same thing with hypnosis, okay? If they come to see you for smoking, however many sessions you need to do for smoking, once they've quit smoking, then you have them come in for the next thing, if that's what they want to do. And then you do that one. But see, the thing, if you do one and then do another, they're probably going to jump off the wagon with the first thing. They're going to regress to right where they were before. So get one done. Keep in mind that with hypnosis, most things that people come see you for, they've created a habit of that bad habit. And to get rid of it, what you're doing with hypnosis is you're helping them to create a new habit, okay, a new habit to replace the old one. Okay, so if you just do a session one time doesn't make a habit. It actually takes a minimum of 30 days to create a habit, which is why when we do sessions for most things, we'll give somebody one session a week, because, I mean, twice a week's better, but most people can't afford that. So they come see you once a week, and we give them an MP3 or a CD to something to listen to as a follow-up on their own each day, because they're conditioning themselves every day. And it takes a minimum of about 30 days to create a habit to replace your old habit. If you think of that, everything you do is a habit. You brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you tie your shoes. It took a while to do that. Walking as a baby, how many times did the baby fall? Okay, and eventually it stopped falling. When you're driving, oh, I don't even want to think of that, okay? How long did it take to get good at something? Even negative habits took a while to build, such as a smoker. For those of you that smoke, okay, that first cigarette that you ever had, was it enjoyable? Not really. You probably hacked and coughed, and it went up your nose and burnt your eyes. It tasted terrible. But by doing it again and again and again, it became a habit. And once it became a habit, you probably enjoyed it. And now today you're having a hard time quitting because you built this habit. So you're going to have to create a habit to get rid of it. So that's why we do one thing at a time. Let's see. I think that's all we have here. For questions right now. Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nice picture on the screen that you can look at. Well, actually not look at, because you're going to have your eyes closed. Okay. And during the session, but we're going to do a quick body scan. Now for the depth test, okay, I'm going to do a thing called the spot on the hand. So yeah, during the session, I'm going to have you open your eyes. You can be hypnotized with eyes open too, by the way. But I'm going to ask you to bring your right hand up in front of your face, and I'm going to ask you to focus on one spot in the palm of your hand. And just so you know, this is what I'm looking for, is for you to do something like this here. You're going to bring your hand up, and you're going to focus on one spot in the palm of your hand. So you're going to be coming up like this. Because some people, if you don't tell them first, they're like this, they're like that, they're like this. Okay, so like that is what I'm asking you to do, okay? And I think everything else is really nothing to really talk about. You're going to find out while we do it. So now you're going to see how it all goes together. So let me go ahead and get myself a nice picture here. And oh, here's a picture of a couple of our graduates. And I'm going to put that there. And one is hypnotizing the other actually during a practice session. Isn't that cool? And let me get my screen back here. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, what I'd like you to do is I want you to sit in a comfortable, out-of-the-way spot, or not too out of the way. You need to be able to hear this, you know, you need to be able to hear me. If you have a headset, that works great. If you don't, you can just listen to your speakers like this, because this isn't going to be a regular session where you're going to be going way out in La La Land, because I'm going to be explaining what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So it's going to be kind of like a learning session, and we're going to be doing a quick one. So just going to give you a taste of what it feels like. But just so you know, when you do a regular session, you're going to take a little longer. You're not going to be explaining things during it. So they're going to go a lot more relaxed. Okay. Here we go. Sit in a comfortable place, supporting your head, your neck, and your feet. Okay. So if you want to sit in a recliner, fine. You can even sit in a office chair or even on a hardback chair. But if you're sitting on a chair that you can't really relax like a recliner, why don't you just put your feet flat on the ground and try to balance your head if you have to. It might even be good to take that kitchen chair that you're in and put it against the wall, so you could have your head against the wall so it doesn't, go back and you snap all the time. Also, if you have a telephone, you might want to turn off the ringer. If the dog's in the room, you might want to let them out, or the cat, because pets in a room is not good, because they love hypnosis, because you go into the alpha brainwave state, which is close to what they are, and they're so comfortable, they'll jump right on you every single time. Not all pets, okay? You can leave your fish in the tank. You don't need to put them out of the room. But dogs, cats, and other things like that, little pet pigs or whatever, let them out. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and take a deep breath and exhale and relax. Take a second deep breath, as deep as you can, and exhale and relax. And on your third deep breath, hold it for about 3 seconds and let go and relax. And as I speak to you, I'm going to have you relax all the different parts of your body. And I want you to use your imagination as well. And imagine everything I'm saying happening to you. Try to imagine it as well as you can. Again, whether you see it, it's fine. And even if you don't, it's fine. But just try to let go. Don't worry about outside things. I'd like you to concentrate on the top of your head, your scalp, and your forehead. And just let any stress or discomfort just fade away. Allow yourself to relax and feel that relaxation going down into your eyebrows and your eyelids. Relax your cheeks and your nose. And feel that relaxation going all the way down to your mouth and your lips. They're so very relaxed. Make sure your teeth are not clenched together and just let go. Relax your chin and your jaw and allow all those muscles in your face to just let go. And you can feel everything go as you imagine it. You're probably finding your face to get a little heavy. All the way down to your neck, relax the front part and the back part of your neck. And feel that relaxation going down to your shoulders. Just let your shoulders go completely, all the way. And your arms relax, starting with your upper arms, down to your elbows and your forearms. Relax your wrists, your hands, and even your fingers. Just relax and let go. And notice how deep and regular your breathing's become. So much deeper than just a moment ago when I began. Just feel your breathing and feel the rhythm of your breathing. Notice the expansion and contraction of your diaphragm and your chest. Just let go completely. All the way down to your stomach. Get rid of any tension that might be in that area. Moving down into your hips and your legs, starting with your thighs. And normally you'd take a lot more time to do this. And your knees, and just go with it. Your calves and your ankles. Relax your feet all the way down to your toes. Just let go completely. And with every breath you take, you allow yourself to go down deeper and deeper. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to have you bring your right hand up in front of your face, just a few inches away, probably about 8 inches to 10 inches away, with your fingers lightly touching together and your palm facing you, like I showed you earlier. And then I'm going to have you open your eyes and focus on one spot and only one spot on the palm of your hand. Now, it's important while you do that you focus on nothing else except for that spot and listen to my voice. So now, remaining totally relaxed, I want you to bring your right hand up in front of your face about 10 inches away, with your fingers lightly pressed together, lightly touching, and your palm facing you. Great. Now I'd like you to open your eyes and focus on that one spot and only one spot in the palm of your hand. And as you focus on that spot, your fingers are beginning to separate and relax. That's right. As you focus on that spot, your fingers are separating wider and wider, more and more relaxed. And don't let it bother you that this wonderful drowsy feeling in your eyes is getting heavier, even as your fingers are relaxing more. Wider and wider as you focus on that spot. And now you can close your eyes back, just let them close, and bring your hand back down to your side on the chair, or wherever it was before, comfortably, and allow yourself to go deeper. Now, as you're relaxing, I'm going to let you know that this is just a test to find out how deep you are. And of course, the person doing it to you would be able to tell by if your fingers separated, you're great to give suggestions to right away. You're in the hypnotic state. You're receptive. If they didn't separate at all, then they know to do a deepener. And then they would test you again to find out if you're there. So don't worry. If they separated a lot, you're great. If they didn't, you know what's going on. So the next step is to do a deepener. And I'd like you to imagine right now, here's where you use that you're at the top of a staircase. And in front of you are nice, comfortable, carpeted stairs. It's very comfortable, easy to go down. 10 stairs. Now, normally you'd probably go with 20, but just for the sake of showing you how it works, there's 10 stairs, and at the bottom, there's a place where you can rest. Now, with each step you go down in a moment, you're going to find yourself to relax twice as much. Now, there's a banister on either side of the stairs, so you could take the banister with you in your hand, whichever one you like, and you step down to the 9th step. And as you step down, you feel yourself relaxing even more. Step down to the 8th one, deeper and deeper, more relaxed. Imagine yourself going down to the 7th and the 6th, deeper and deeper. 5, all the way down deep. The 4th step. The 3rd one, feeling so very relaxed and wonderful in every way. The 2nd step. The 1st step. And now you're all the way down on the bottom. The very bottom step, feeling wonderful. So very comfortable, more relaxed than you've felt in such a long time. And as you're relaxing there, you can just go ahead and you find yourself a nice chair that you can sit on. Imagine yourself sitting or even lying down on a feather bed if that sounds better for you, or even in the chair that you're in right now. Just imagine yourself so very relaxed. As I give you the suggestions, this is where they would be. As you're feeling great, imagine how great you want to feel. And allow yourself to feel great. You're a successful person. You're successful at whatever you want to do. You're good at doing what you want to do. You feel great. You believe in yourself because you know if there's anything you want to do, you'll do your best. And doing your best is all you can do, and it's great. You believe in yourself. And whenever there's something that you want to do, your new motto is, go for it. You go for it with confidence, with the newfound confidence that you can do anything you want to do and it'll always come out great. You're confident, you're happy, and you're successful. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to count to 5. And at the count of 5, you're going to come back to the hearing now feeling wonderful, feeling so much better than before. You feel so much better, so much more relaxed. In fact, tonight you'll have one of the best night's sleep that you've had in so long because you want to and you know you deserve it. 1, you're starting to emerge from hypnosis. 2, feeling wonderful in every way. 3, your mind is clear and alert. 4, your eyes are starting to open. And 5, eyes wide open, fully awake and feeling fine. You're right back here. Now, I don't want you to be scared as you look at the screen because I'm going to stop this and boom, here I am again. Okay, I know that's sometimes can be a scary thing to see when you open your eyes. It's him. Okay, like Home Alone. Okay, so hopefully everybody's back now. All right. Now, you can get an idea of how the session goes. Again, we did, just as a refresher, we did the suggestibility test. And of course, if the fingers touched, we went to the right, which was the relaxation. Of course, if we went to the left, it would be left brain people, analytical people would be keeping the mind busy. Now, we did the induction, where I had you relax the body scan. Okay, you probably enjoyed that. You can actually feel yourself let go when you're doing that. And then the spot on the hand, what do you think of that? Isn't that interesting? How many of you had your fingers actually separate? Most people, when they do this for the first time, they see their fingers going like that. They're like, wow, am I doing that? I mean, there's a lot of different ones you can do. A lot of times when people have their arm on a chair and a recliner, I'll tell them, so let's say this is a recliner underneath here. You're going to feel almost like I have a string tied around your hand. As I pull this string up, and I'll do this to their hand, you'll feel your hand come up. And right in the session, while they're in hypnosis, you'll see their hand go up and up and up and up and up. And it's all the way up in the air. Of course, you know at that point they're very deep or deep enough for you to do your suggestions. Again, you don't have to be really deep. You just need to be deep enough for the resistance or the conscious fight to be gone. So with most people, just taking 3 deep breaths and closing their eyes is enough, okay? But some people, you need to take them a little further. Now, I know this is a different class. You know, they have brainwave states, okay? Right now we're in beta, which is the busy state. But just by closing your eyes and taking 3 deep breaths, closing your eyes alone, you're blocking out 80% of beta activity, which is taking you 80% into the alpha state, which is the hypnotic state, okay? So just to give you an idea, that's why we have people take 3 deep breaths and close their eyes, because that takes them most of the way there already. Okay, half of your job's done. Then by the time you do a body scan, they're okay to hypnotize because the fight or the resistance is gone. Okay, back. I'm seeing a lot of notes, and the fingers did separate. Okay, that's kind of fun. And of course, after the fingers, some people, their hand will go like this, and some people, they're so tired, I've seen them not even being able to lift their hand. They're like this, okay? So, and that's fine. If they go like this and they can't bring their hand up like that, okay, they pass the test. Just tell them to put their hand back down and move on, okay? They passed it very well. Now, after the test, we did a deepener, which was the stairs. I only did 10 stairs, and we went pretty quick. We didn't run, but we went pretty quick. Normally, we do at least 20 stairs. And again, a deepener can be anything. You can use an elevator, and when you see the numbers go down, 50, 49, 48, you go deeper and deeper. Keep in mind, though, if you're doing an elevator and the person came to see you for fear of elevators or small spaces, not a good thing, okay? So that's why I don't do elevators very much, because some people are scared of them. So stairs are usually pretty safe. And then we did some suggestions. And the suggestions, of course, were success, feeling great, believing in yourself, these kind of things. Because, again, I don't want to hypnotize somebody for quit smoking, because they might, not all of you smoke, okay? And so that was kind of a good generic thing to do. And of course, the awakening, 1, 2, we went to 1 to 5. Notice I count forward when I want you to come out. We count backwards when we want you to go in, 10, 9, 8. So if I said on a count of 5, I want you to open your eyes, 5, 4, 3, 2, you'd probably be deeper, okay? So we want to pull you out. So that's how to do a session. So we said tonight, we're going to show you how to do hypnosis. You know how to find out how somebody's minds work, and you know how to bring them into hypnosis. Okay. Now, please only do it for good people. Don't, for good reasons. I mean, not for good people. Only do it for good reasons. Don't use, don't go to the dark side. Okay. And never do anything of a clinical nature unless you have a clinical background, such as a medical or a mental health degree, because you need to work within your realm of practice. I mean, you don't want to deal with somebody with mental health issues if you don't know about them, because you can cause more harm than good. Keep that in mind.